Let's talk Avalanche gear.
So, talking about beacons now, you know, there's old technology, new technology. And the old technology has got problems compared to the new ones. The new ones are so much faster. So, you know, as far as we go, this is how we feel about the old technology at MSA and Soul Rides. Is that this $150, useless compared to the new stuff. That simple. 250, 150. You either live, you die, I don't know, you choose. We're going to start with Avalanche probes. And there's a bunch of different companies out there. Right now we're looking at some VCA products. But the main things with the probes is you know, how they latch together and whatnot, but it's more the length of your stick. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it's all about how strong your stick is and how long your stick is.
So you want a hard, long stick is what you're saying, Jeremy?
Well, that's correct. You know, with the risk of sounding a little bit weird, that's exactly what I'm looking for, is a long, hard stick. Once you choose your probe that you want, you decide, you know, you pick the quick setups that you want and the length that you want, which is always long and hard. We move into the shovels, and I want to touch base, and this is a lot of my opinion, and I know a lot of people will argue the points about the Lexan shovels and stuff, but I often wonder how they really do in the colder weathers. You know, you get out there and you're in avalanche debris, and your only body's chance of survival is you in the shovel, and it's -20 out, and you're smashing it down into the rock hard avalanche debris. I often wonder how well these really last. So for myself, I really stick with an aluminum hard plate shovel over top of the plastic ones. You know, you have to make your own choices there, but for me, you know, I always stick with a longer based shovel, or a longer handled shovel, just for a little bit more leverage. You know, you take an avalanche course, and some of the stuff that we teach with some conveyor belt methods, it's really impressive how much snow you can move just with a little bit of knowledge. So as you take your courses, you know, it'll really prove to you how important the shovel is as a tool in a rescue case scenario. The other thing is, make sure you dry your shovels out, including your gloves and your underwear, because they actually freeze. If you leave them in the trailer or whatever else, this will freeze and you have a real tough time opening them up. So either digging out your sled if you have a pain, or digging out your buddy in an emergency situation if you can't get the shovel connected. That's kind of a problem. Other safety equipment that we all wear, Rob wears, I wear, is the Avalanche bag. And right here I have a VCA bag, and Rob's wearing a snow pulse, and there's ABS. There's a bunch of other products on the market, and they all have the good points or bad points. For myself, you know, I'm really concerned out there because there's a growing trend that a lot of us sledders are wearing these packs, but they're not being deployed. So, you know, I've been caught in a Class 3, and I can tell you how hard it is to actually try to reach around and get a hold of your triggers. And even in some cases, in some of the fatalities that have happened, the triggers aren't even exposed. So if you're going to spend the money on this, you've got to think about using it and when to use it. So,
like just practicing, like actually grabbing the handle and, you know, pulling it and pretending like you're in a slide, just being prepared for that if you were in one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Rob probably does the same as I do, is when traveling in any spot that I think, or I always practice so it's muscle memory. You know, if you think you're exposed, or even up the trail, I practice trying to grab my handle.
And then there's also a lot of guys who, well, I get out there and they say they can't afford to buy it, and you know, a new airbag pack, or it's too much money, or you know, but then they have a brand new sled that they've put a turbo kit on and spent about $30,000 on. And to me, it just makes no sense at all to not have one. Really, it's going to keep you from being buried and save your life. It's just a no-brainer, really.
We have a little game we play once in a while when we're having a good time, and it's the quick draw. It's similar to being in the Wild Wild West. And so, you know, back in the day, you had the Western Cowboys that would just draw, and then you had the English that would had a little bit more what do you say, gentleman sort of approach. So we do the gentleman approach. So
yeah.
1, 2, 3. As you see, Rob's got a huge amount of head protection here, which he needs because you don't want to wreck that beautiful face. And there's a bunch of different designs, and I'm sure all the manufacturers will talk about the good and the bad points to each one. But for myself, I think a bag is a very protective thing. It's a good opportunity to put yourself back on the surface or put an orange piece out of the surface and get recognized. Even if your friends weren't paying attention, all of a sudden you have a big balloon attached to you, that's going to grab their attention. So we definitely wear them for protection every time. You know, we always start with prevention, but if something was to go wrong, we still have these.
Yep, see.
When I'm gone, can you say